So hey guys, welcome to another video, and today I want to talk about TERA because I've been playing it for, I don't know, a week, maybe? Something like that, 10 days, maybe. But I'm having a lot of fun with TERA, and I can see how some people would absolutely hate TERA because it's a very grindy game. Most of the time you're going to be doing this, you're going to be running around, you're going to be killing things. Alright, that's pretty much what the game is. You are either killing things, you are collecting things, or you're doing PvP. That's pretty much it. There is an odd quest here and there. The one I remember is I was charming some sort of a pig and then I was bringing it back to the farmer. But other than that, most of the quests, I would say 95% of the quests, it's either go kill a dude or go collect a thing. And as you progress and you get higher and higher level, you kill bigger things, and then bigger things, and even bigger things. But I think I can forgive it because of the combat system, and I think this is the best combat system I've seen in an MMORPG. The one in Guild Wars is good, but it's not as good. And I think it comes down to the feeling. Because you have to be rooted for certain attacks in TERA, it can feel more beefy. Alright, I'm playing the gunner in this clip, which I decided will be my main because I like her skill set the most, even though she's the only class that's gender specific and race specific as well. I think the skill set here is really good. And it's a great example of how beefy it can feel. Not only the sound, which I forgot to record, and I'm really sorry about it, it's awesome. Alright, the sound effects sound really cool. But also the fact that when I fire off a special shot, it pushes me back a couple of meters, which gives it the feeling of heaviness. Alright, it really feels like you're firing something really big and it's gonna hurt the fucker in front of you a lot. And I think that's also the reason why I didn't choose a melee class or a tank even, because they feel slow and beefy. And I want something really nimble. And while yes, as you get better and better gear and you get more attack speed, your animations will speed up, which is an awesome thing. It also means that in the beginning, classes like Berserkers and Lancers feel really heavy and very clunky in my opinion. But, you know, that's just my opinion. I see a lot of Berserkers and Lancers and Warriors and Slayers running around, and they're having a gay old time. You know, they're running around, they're killing things. And sometimes when I'm watching them, I'm like, oh, that looks really cool. Maybe I should try it again. But then it's slow, you know, and I would have to get attack speed to get out of this feeling of clunkiness and being really slow. But also, when I get, or if I get some attack speed with my gunner, I'll be even faster, so I'll be even more nimble and I will have more fun. Because mobility is really a thing that draw me to the gunner. Alright, first of all, you get the rolling reload, so you can roll away if you want to. You don't necessarily have to use it to reset the cooldown of Scattershot. You can fire yourself away with a sort of a rocket jump. You also have another ability with which you can dash forward, and if you activate it again, you will dash backwards, but you can dash forward, turn your camera, and dash backwards again. It's awesome. It's a very nimble class, but the attacks feel really beefy because they push you back and they have an awesome sound effect. And it's maybe because this is the last class that was introduced to the game, so it's maybe more refined than the previous ones, but I find it really cool. Now let's jump away from killing big dudes into killing smaller dudes inside a dungeon. So I did this dungeon twice already with a group of 5 people. We had a tank, we had a healer, we had 3 DPS. Actually, in one of the dungeons we had 2 tanks, we had a warrior and a lancer, and we had a mystic in both of them. Now the dungeons, you know, they have trash, and then there is a final boss. But as you saw in the beginning when I was entering the dungeon, there is an option to teleport in, normally, you know, for the 5-man dungeon, but you can also do it solo. And I did the solo run, and I thought it would just be a nerfed version of the dungeon that's doable with just 1 person. But in the solo run, there are actually different enemies in certain spots. So for instance, in this room, if I switch to the solo run, there's a lot of little dudes, and in the 5-man version there were 2 bigger dudes. You also can't do quests, I think, in the solo version, so you have to go into the 5-man version and you get considerably shittier loot in the solo version. But the 5-man version was still very much doable because, well, I can kite, and if I'm careful I can dodge the big attacks, so I can do it on my own, which is really cool in my opinion. And it's mostly due to the fact that tanking is completely different in this game. You're not just a big dude with the most health standing up front, taking hits constantly, and healers healing you up. As a Lancer, for instance, which I would say is the sort of traditional-ish way of tanking, you have to raise your shield at the correct time. But you can't just have your shield up all the time, because you're not going to generate any threat, and the mobs are going to kill everyone else. You are just ineffective with your shield up. You're only blocking things. So as a Lancer, you have to make sure that you're balancing between attacking the mob and generating threat and blocking at the right time, because the boss will telegraph and he's like, oh, I'm gonna hit you, here it comes, you raise your shield, and he bounces off. Alright, that's the way you tank as a Lancer, and I find that very cool. But Lancers aren't the only tanks. You have warriors who don't have a block. You have 2 one-handed swords. So the way you survive and you tank is, well, you're doing your damage and you are generating threat, but when the attack comes, you have to roll out of the way, actively. You don't have a stat that says dodge. You dodge 12% of the time. No, you have to dodge out of the way actively. And you have invincibility frames. So when you roll, you are invincible for a second. But you also have to keep attacking, because you can't roll all the time. So you have to attack to charge your bar. I don't know what it's called. I think resolve or something like that. So you can roll. So you have to once again balance between attacking and rolling away. Awesome. And that allows me to essentially take on this dungeon on my own if I'm careful enough, if I'm kiting and if I'm dodging at the right time. And I was able to kill the last boss of this dungeon. Now granted, I'm 6 levels above the recommended level, but still, it felt really cool. I killed the last boss and I was like, oh damn, I actually did that. That was kind of cool, you know, and I challenged myself with this dungeon. Even though I already ran it 2 times with a group and it was much easier, because I was careful and I wasn't cocky and I was dodging at the right time, I was able to do this, and that felt really good. So yeah, this is what draws me to TERA. I will try out different MMOs, obviously. I'm currently downloading Guild Wars 2 again. I will try Rift again. But right now, TERA looks really good. Some people are saying that there is a lack of content at the end game, but right now, you know, I just like killing stuff with my gunner, which just is an awesome class in my opinion. And, you know, TERA is free, so if you want to try it out, you can. You know, it doesn't cost you anything. The free-to-play model is apparently very good. I haven't run into anything that was like, pay us money or sod off. I haven't run into that. I might, I don't know. But, yeah, TERA. And I thank you all for watching. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.